You've probably heard and read about how amazing Boise, Idaho is, and I'm here to tell you it is all true. But if you are thinking about moving here, there are some things you absolutely need to know before you get here. Things that'll keep you safe, keep your family safe, keep your pets safe, and keep Boise safe. Keep Boise, Boise. Now, I live here. I move families from across the country here all the time, and these are 7 things I want to share with you that you need to know before you end up moving to the Treasure Valley. Number 1 is that you will deal with snow here. So although compared to the Midwest and the Northeast, we're not getting that much snow, there are times when it absolutely does fall here. Right now we're in the middle of winter, mid-December, and as you see outside, it is sunny, it is bright, there is not snow on the floor. The same thing happened last year, and then out of nowhere, boom, I had 14 inches of snow on my drive. Now look, I'm not a morning person by any means. When that happened, I had to wake up an extra hour early to make sure I get outside, shovel the driveway, de-ice the windows, throw some salt down, start the car to make sure it's warm, just to take my kid to school. Now, is it the worst thing in the world? No. Are you gonna be doing it for 2 months in a row? Probably not, but waking up an extra hour early just so you can get all those things done before you start your day is something you have to think about. On top of that, the sidewalk in front of your house, that's also your responsibility. Most HOAs are not going to take care of that sidewalk section in front of your house, so there's a little more work there. And it should be noted that the city plow service that clear the snow in the main streets rank neighborhoods as their lowest priority. So you would be lucky if the plow service even gets to your neighborhood before the snow season ends. I had an incident last year where they didn't get there for an entire maybe 2 weeks, and I was slipping and sliding every day just to get out of my neighborhood. So drive slow. So make sure you're waking up early, shovel the snow, de-ice your windows front and back, and make sure to get the snow off the top of your car because no one likes it when that snow falls off on the car behind. Item number 2 is going to be Boise's strange traffic quirks. Now, I moved here and you have people flooding from all over the country to move here. And my theory is all these people came in with their driving styles from wherever they moved to, and it's just colliding here in Boise. Specifically, here's an example. Left turns. I will guarantee when you get here, you're gonna run into the awkward left turn phenomenon. You're gonna play a game of no, you go. So you're gonna get to a 4-way stop and the car in front of you is gonna wanna go left. You're trying to go left and you're both gonna be sitting there waving at each other. No, you go, no, you go. And you're gonna be playing this game of stop, go, stop, go. One hand, it's really nice because they're being nice, right? They're trying to let you go and you're trying to be nice. On the other hand, it's really frustrating and annoying because if you follow the rules of the road, it shouldn't be that difficult. You know who should go next. Another example is zipper merging. Not many people know how to do it here, and you'll see it oftentimes when you're trying to get on the freeway where 2 lanes are trying to merge, or if there's an accident way ahead, a couple miles down the road, and one of the lanes is shut off, everyone's gonna start merging into that lane miles back, creating these really weird choke points when all you need to do is Google zipper merging. You're able to take that second lane all the way down to the very end and then merge in at the end. Makes it easier for everyone. Not to mention that the infrastructure here has not kept up with the influx of people moving here. So you're gonna see all the time throughout the valley, there is construction, there's road closures going on everywhere. Them trying to expand the road, make roundabouts, different things just to get traffic flowing much smoother. Now, these next 2 items aren't exactly fun topics, but they are 2 things that you do need to keep in mind when you get here. It should be known that Boise has a lot of water access. There are a lot of rivers, there are a lot of lakes, and even more so, there are a lot of canals, irrigation canals that go throughout the entire Treasure Valley for all the farmland that exists around here. So number 3 is if you have kids, you need to teach them to swim. You need to put them in swimming classes. Far too often, unfortunately, we hear stories about kids who fall into these ponds who decide to play in the irrigation canal but can't keep up with the cold waters or aren't strong swimmers. Unfortunate stories you'll hear throughout the valley. So make sure your kids know how to swim, or you educate them. Stay away from the irrigation canals because they are not areas to play. That goes with item number 4 is that Idaho does have dog leash laws. So dogs are the same boat. Oftentimes people walk their dogs off leash around here because there are absolutely a lot of dog owners throughout the valley, which is a good thing. You'll see dogs everywhere. Sometimes some people let their dogs off leash and the same thing happens. They see the irrigation canals and think it's fun and want to jump in there, and ends up having to be an unfortunate situation, or someone has to jump in there and save those dogs. So we don't want that happening around here. Make sure to teach your kids, teach your dogs how to swim, keep them on the leash. Boise is absolutely great for dog owners, going up in the foothills, running around, having a good time. But there are strict dog laws. Esther Simplot Dog Park, there are strictly no dogs in the park. They have to stay on the designated pathways and stay on a leash. I have seen people get cited out there for not having their dogs on the leash. Now back to some lighthearted topics. Item number 5 is the food scene. The food scene's growing, but manage your expectations. Look, there are a lot of great places to eat here in the valley, and if you're looking for great suggestions, I'm a big foodie, just go ahead and reach out to me. I would love to share some of my favorite places to go to, from desserts to dinner to ice cream, etc. I digress. Food scene here is great, it's growing. One of the unfortunate things you'll notice throughout the valley is you're gonna find a place that you absolutely love. It's new, it just opened, all the influencers are covering it, and then give it 2-3 years later, it closes, it goes away. Fortunately, that's just what's happening here in the valley. I've had a few places I absolutely loved. I get to meet the chefs, and 2 days later, they're gone. Another weird phenomenon that happens here is like a new food hall or a new food truck park or something, new concept opens up, and you get excited for it. You show up there and you find out the food that they're serving, they're just kind of the middlemen. They get it from another local person here and sources it and repackage it in their own way or own concept, which is cool. They're supporting local, they're doing great for the business. But when you're expecting something new and it's just something else that's popular in downtown and just repackaged, it's not exactly new. So all in all, locally owned restaurants are great, they're fantastic here. Just when you find one, you have to make sure you go and support them so they stick around and stay. Again, there are some out here that have stood the test of time, and if you're interested in those, I can send those over to you. All you gotta do is reach out to me. Item number 6 is that Boise is not a set it and forget it type place. So here in the valley, we get true 4 seasons, right? So let's start in the spring. In spring, you're probably, for home maintenance things, you're probably gonna have to do things like caulking all the nooks and crannies on the exterior of the house, getting your yard ready for gardening, turning on your irrigation, making sure your sprinklers are running just fine. Come summer, you're probably gonna be touching up your house with paint because you're gonna get a lot of heat on the house. You might notice some warping. You're also gonna wanna make sure your AC is functioning, so you're gonna have to get someone out and check your AC system. When fall time hits, you're probably gonna have to get all the leaves out of your gutters. You're gonna have to declutter your yard from all the debris that's fallen off from your plants and your trees. In winter, kind of like I mentioned before, you're gonna have to make sure you're shoveling your snow, shoveling the driveway in front of your house because your HOA is not gonna handle that. You're gonna have to de-ice your cars, get some melting salt for your front driveway. And on top of that, you have to make sure that your heating system is functioning just as well because you don't wanna freeze during the winter. So unless you wanna live in a condo where the association takes care of all these things for you throughout the year, you're gonna have to do these by yourself. And if these are all things you don't wanna handle, you don't wanna take care of, you're probably gonna have to go with a condo that has an association that'll take care of all these things for you throughout the year. Why does this matter? Well, once you get here to Boise and you start living at home, life happens. Eventually you're gonna need to sell that home. And just like you, when you bought that home, you want to move into a home that has been well maintained, well cared for. And if you haven't taken care of these things throughout the year, it's gonna show. And when you go to sell, probably not gonna get top dollar for your home. And item number 7 is Boise is quiet. Even as it grows, this place is much slower paced than everywhere else. Now, a lot of you moving here, just like me, this is kind of what we sought. We wanted something slower paced. We wanted something that's less hectic as a major metropolitan city. But oftentimes, probably about 6 months into living here, people realize, well, this is a little slower than I thought it was gonna be. There's not very many late night options. There are no major sport teams here. Our biggest sports team is Boise State University, so you're gonna have to enjoy college football. Every once in a while, there'll be a big headlining event or concert, or someone famous that will come through town, but that's maybe once or twice through the year as compared to some other major cities that every month you have something going on. The biggest concert event in Boise is called Tree Fort, and it's pretty cool. It's all of downtown, different venues hosting different artists, and it goes on for an entire week. Think of Coachella or anything like that. But this is on a much smaller scale with smaller local independent artists versus big headliners. So this is something just to keep in mind of. It is slower paced here, and I think this is actually going to be a huge plus for anyone that moves here. So that is it. That is the 7 things you need to know about moving to Boise, Idaho before you get here. So if you value your space, safety, outdoor access, great communities to live in, you will absolutely love living in the Treasure Valley. Like, if you are considering moving, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. I'm not just gonna help you find amazing homes. I'm here to help you decide if moving here is the right decision. More importantly, where in the valley you should move to that fits your lifestyle. So please give me a call, shoot me a text.